All right, my friend. Let's get my questions up for you.
Oh yeah,
All right, Marel, how you doing, man? Welcome to the show.
doing great. How you doing?
Excellent, excellent. Where are you at right now? You in Boston?
No, I'm in my Bradley Beach right now.
Oh, okay. You're right around the corner. All right. I
Yeah,
know.
for now.
Okay, cool, man. I know. I think your father was telling me that you're going to do the summer program at Berkeley. Is
Oh
that correct?
yeah, that's right. I'm headed out. I've got some back-to-back gigs. I have one day to pack my bags, and then I'm out there.
Oh wow. Where you? Where's the gigs at? Where you gigging?
Well, actually today, tonight in New York, day after here in right next door in Asbury, then in Bradley Beach, and then the New York Guitar Festival in Bryant Park. So
That's great.
yeah, it's almost gonna be well, all of them are gonna be real fun, but that
That's
last pretty special. We're doing a celebration of the guitarist Ernest Ranglin's music.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, we'll talk about Ernest Ranglin a little, but let's get started. So you are by far the youngest person we've had on the program. I'm sure you've heard that many times before.
Yeah,
Uh,
for now.
tell how old are you?
Oh, you just turned 17 last week. Yeah, actually, yeah, last week.
Last week. All right. Well, happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously for 17, you've accomplished a lot, man. Which is pretty awesome.
Thank you, really. Yeah.
That's so like could if you could talk about like because it's somewhat rare. I mean, you live a few towns over from where I'm talking to you right now. How did you get into like how did you get into jazz? Or actually, first off, how did you get into the guitar?
Well, it's kind of more recent memory, I guess, but I I guess I saw a cartoon of a dog on like it was PBS or something like that, playing the guitar, and I told my parents, "Hey, I wanna learn this instrument," and then they took me to this music store, or actually a music store and lesson or music school called Big Beat Music.
Oh, sure, yeah. Mhm.
And they say, oh well, we usually start our students at 7. I was 4 at that time, but then my teacher, um, Jerry Franklin, he said, okay, let's try him out, see if he can like handle the class, and then we'll take it from there. And I learned Aqualung by the Jethro Tull. So
Sure, yeah.
he said, yeah, he can take lessons. So I started going every week. And he was like maybe the first, well, he was the first person to like instill to me, like, you gotta learn by ear, you listen to the recordings. And even if it wasn't jazz, I kind of just started like getting into guitar by listening to all my dad's records of Pink Floyd, Genesis, and it kind of just happened there.
Right. So like prior to jazz, it was like classic rock, I guess, and like progressive rock.
That and like bluegrass, even some reggae, funk. It was we did all like even neoclassical music. So it was all aspects of music except jazz.
Mm.
And maybe like Stravinsky and like Mozart. We didn't do none of that.
Yeah, but that's a pretty heavy listening list. I mean, I have a 16-year-old kid. He doesn't listen. He listens to all that classic rock stuff you had mentioned, but Stravinsky, I think he would reject that. And he plays some guitar too. So like, all right. So it was your dad. I know he's obviously appreciates music very much. Is he a musician as well?
No, the last musician in my family was my great grandfather. Was a classical composer in Costa Rica, but past that, just music appreciators.
Oh, okay. Wow. So all right. So he takes you to Big Beat, which I think Neptune, New Jersey, right? And
Yeah, like
yeah,
5 blocks away from our home.
right. And he gets you a guitar. What was your first guitar? Big nylon string.
It was a well, yeah, it was a little 3/4 nylon string thing. But then once he saw I actually started putting work into it, they got me a blue Fender Squire. It's still around somewhere. It's a little three quarters blue Fender Squire. And then when I got my first gig, they realized, well, this is probably not going to be like it didn't look like a gigging guitar.
Sure.
So my first real like uh official gigging guitar they got me when I was 5 was this brown Ibanez like Stratocaster style, really,
Hmm.
and it really could play anything, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The Ibanez makes good stuff. So, all right. So you're listening to this stuff. You're learning a little bit at the music school, and then like so. Then when does jazz enter your orbit?
Well, like as you said, I was playing all that music for like 11 years or something like that, and my
Mhm.
old well, the pandemic came, and then my drummer had gone off to Berkeley. And then he was the youngest. Well, after me, he was the youngest person, and then all my other musicians were like professionals. So I didn't have anyone to play with. So my keyboardist says, "Hey, you gotta check out you gotta learn how to play solo gigs. You gotta learn how to because if you don't have a band and you still
Mhm.
want to play, you gotta learn how to play solo." So it says you gotta check out Virtuoso by Joe Pass.
Big
And
one.
at the beginning I was like, well, I don't really want to have to like learn all these transcriptions. It seems so complicated. And then I started actually learning his Night and Day, I think is the first song off that album. And I learned the thing. So okay, this is actually I'm getting the hang of it. Let me learn. I learned around midnight. Then I learned Here's That Rainy Day. Then I
Mhm.
learned the rest of the songs of that album. And that's basically how I got into it. And then, after like figuring out, well, I should probably learn how to improvise as well. Um,
Yeah. So like, how do you make that transition? I mean, did you study with a jazz teacher, or have you been?
well, at that time, I wouldn't say study. I took maybe like 5 lessons with a jazz guitarist, and it's basically like clinics. Like I would show him what I had learned, and he'd say, okay, yeah, but do this, or like, well, the reason he did this is because he wanted to like do such and such or something like that. But I never really like did like formal like sometimes I would go to like someone's house or something like that, and then I'd be supposedly taking the lesson, but we'd just be listening to like records or
Mm.
something like that. So I wouldn't say like a formal teacher like I had in the rock days, you know?
Yeah. So interesting. So like, obviously you're listening to jazz. So who are some of your like, I even saying early to you is everything's early, but like, who are some of the guitar, who are some of the guitar players you were listening to besides Joe Pass?
Well, I had always been listening to Ernest Ranglin, but then I came back to him through another way because he was the house guitarist at Ronnie Scott's in London for like a few years, and I kind of came back to listening to him because he played straight ahead. So I checked that stuff out. Obviously, Grant Green, Herb Ellis, Barney Kessel,
Mhm.
and Wes and Charlie Christian. But I also got really into to people like well, especially some contemporary folks, but Tal Farlow as well.
Sure.
So I would basically listen to just about everything from Wes Montgomery to Sonny Sharrock or something like that.
Wow. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, Ernest Raglan. That's not a name I hear all that much. Talk about your connection there. Obviously, has a connection with your heritage as well, right?
Yeah, well, he's a great Jamaican guitarist, and I have been playing his reggae stuff from like maybe 7 years old or something like that. But yeah, he's just really like one of those. There's there's some people that say Wes picked up uh there's a newspaper article somewhere saying that Wes picked up Wes himself saying he didn't learn the thumb thing from Wrangling, but he learned the octave thing from a Jamaican guitarist who sounded like he had 16 fingers. So you had a connection there with Wes. Then Les Paul gave him a guitar, and then he played with like Sonny Stitt, Cannonball Adderley, and I started coming back to it and said, okay, well, this guy's from Jamaica or the West Indies, and he's playing all this music. He's got such a connection to all these great guitarists. So I started listening to him like um, uh, quite a bit, and the music just it's a little bit cliche, but just like connected like that, you know, it made sense in a way.
Yeah, that's cool. So are you now you guys grew up in Jamaica? What's your connection? Were you grew up in New Jersey?
Uh, my there's a my family's Costa Rican,
Costa
so
Rica.
uh, but I grew up here in I was born in the Neptune Hospital
Oh,
few
yeah,
blocks
yeah.
yeah few blocks west. But yeah, I mean my first like I guess show I ever did was at a restaurant in Belmar with a reggae dub guitarist, and then once like maybe a few years later, he kind of told me, well, yeah, check out Ernest Ranglin. So it wasn't by family that I found him, but
Hmm.
since I got family heritage, because there's a lot of Jamaicans in Costa Rica. There's a connection there through the heritage. So
Hmm.
yeah, especially with the calypso, because like I went to I did a tour in Costa Rica in April, and I hung out with my mom's side of the family, who they were born in Costa Rica, and they were singing to me all these Jamaican folk songs that you think they'd only know in Jamaica, but you know they're singing all these calypso tunes and mento tunes. So there's obviously quite a musical connection there, even though they're not musicians themselves.
Hmm. Right. Yeah, but a huge part of the heritage. I mean, for sure, the music.
Hmm?
Yeah, yeah, very interesting. That's wild. So, okay, so you're playing, around the town here, I guess a little bit, right? And then when does it start? Like, because like now you're all over the place, right? So my one question is number one, how do you manage school with that? And just like maybe if you could talk about just some of the places you've played in addition to going to Costa Rica and how that all comes about.
Well, I'm homeschooled, so that's the like biggest reason.
Yeah.
Like I do take how you say college courses in Brookdale, because you know I get college credits and all that. But for the main how you say meantime, I'm completely homeschooled, and it's been that way for a minute. Because if I wasn't homeschooled, I don't think I could convince the school board to let me go out to like Costa Rica for a month or that sort of thing.
Sure.
Um, but like I just came back from actually I my flight got in here. Was it yesterday? No, I got here the day before from I was playing a couple shows out in the Sunset Sunside Jazz Club out in Paris last week, and then
Mhm.
well, yeah, I've played in Puerto Rico. I've played Pittsburgh. Even if I went back, I did the Denver Day of Rock, for example. So ever since I was maybe like 9, I've been going quite a bit around. But as far as it comes to jazz, um, I I guess I've done the Exit Zero Jazz Festival quite a few times, and that's all been happening throughout like I guess the last year or so. Maybe a few years and months. It was Mother's Day last year. I did my first jazz gig with a trio with bass and drums, and then I think uh, a month after that I did Exit Zero down in Cape May.
Yeah.
Then it kind of just started rolling on from there.
Yeah. Wow. So like, obviously, there's not a lot of people your age who are playing at the level that you are. And so mostly you're working with older musicians, right? So how did you come to know them? Was it a lot through the connections that your father helped you to make, or was it going to sessions?
Well, my dad uh never listened to jazz in his life up
Mm,
until I started playing it. Like like I remember one time I got hired to do the Deerhead Inn in the Poconos Mountains.
sure, big
Um,
club.
yeah, so I had hired Pat Bianchi, the organist, on that, and my dad was like, "Oh yeah, I like that video of him." There was one video he played for like on repeat. It was a concert of the Pat Martino trio with
Mm,
Bianchi and Carmine Torre Jr. So
sure.
I knew who Pat Bianchi was. So I needed a drummer who could play the organ trio thing. So I was like, well, mate, who should I call? So I had Billy Hart's number somewhere, and
Hmm.
I tell my dad, I think I'm gonna give Mr. Hart a call. My dad says, yeah, sure. And he says, just actually, can you send me his number just in case I need it? And I'm like, okay, sure. So I go to lunch, and then my dad calls Billy Hart in the middle of my lunch. I was gonna call him after. And my dad walks into the dining room, says, "Hey, Billy Hart's on the gig," and then just walks out.
Hmm.
Um, and mind you, he had no idea who he was. Like after he said he was going to play with me, my dad said, "Okay, I'll go to his Wikipedia." And he's no jazz listener, but when he sees Miles Davis, Herbie Hancock, Wes Montgomery, and like Jimmy Smith on someone's resume, he knows.
Yeah,
Like who wouldn't know? But that sort of thing. I didn't really go to, I've gone to maybe a handful of sessions in my life, and like most of those were just like put on by the festival for the musicians after um I guess it's just by gigging I sort of met people, or like you're only a few phone calls away from getting like someone's phone number,
sure.
so my my first bassist and my first drummer, when they couldn't make a gig, I said, well, who do you recommend? Or who do you recommend for a piano? Because I want to expand to a quartet for a gig.
Hmm.
And they say, okay, well, this guy, I call him, he can't make it. He sends me free numbers. And like I call those guys, and it just starts expanding like that. It's a little bit easier to get a hold of someone when you got like a gig to offer them. It's
Yes.
like, you know,
Hmm. That's pretty cool. So like, well, first of all, what was it like playing with Billy Hart?
that was a, I mean, it's hard to explain if you're not like on the bands, and it's like Thelonious Monk said, like talking about music is like dancing about architecture. Um,
Cool. Yeah, that's good.
but I mean it's really the whole rhythm section of like Bianchi and Hart is like I mean it's a dream for maybe all of us, I think, like
Sure.
especially if you're a guitar player, because there's such lineage all around. And for example, Mr. Hart, his range of playing is like within, I guess, 10 years, he was playing with Jimmy Smith, and then
Hmm.
10 years later, he was in the Marwandishi group.
Sure.
So that sort of thing is, you can't put it in words, but if you can't say anything negative, it's all good.
Yeah, yeah, totally. Yeah, I've never had the pleasure. Pat, I've played with a little.
Oh, yeah.
I've had some jam sessions, but yeah, um, yeah, that's great. So like, um, wow. So, who are some of the people that you really like? If you had to put that, well, first of all, you haven't. Have you recorded your first record yet? I don't think, right?
Oh, not yet.
Yes. So, when's that going to happen?
People keep asking me all around, like, oh, do you have anything up? And I always have to tell them, oh, no, not yet, or oh, not yet. I don't have no idea when it's gonna happen, but if there's any labels around that want to do something, I'm free to. My email's out there, you know.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, and you have a website as well, so people can find you on
Yeah.
there. I share it
Oh yeah, there you go.
at the end as well. That's great. Well, I mean, this will be heard worldwide. You know, we have a lot of listeners, which is cool. So, you know, if someone's looking for a young guitar player, I can't think of anyone better. And beyond age, just a very good guitar player. So, um, so now you're like in the summer, you're going now to do the Berkeley summer program. Is this your first time doing that?
It's my second time. The folks at the NG Pack, who are really great, Mr. Gross, over there. They nominated
Hmm.
me for a full scholarship, so I'm really thankful for that. And then, actually, matter of fact, I'm gonna have to excuse myself for a day or two since I got a gig right in the middle of. I'm doing the Deer Head again with John Lee, the bassist,
Yeah.
and Tommy Campbell, the drummer. So I still gotta contact them to ask for the absence, but you know, I'll be there.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, just a short run from Boston to the Poconos, right?
Yeah, it was real easy rise like next door.
Right, right. So, like on a daily basis, like what's your schedule like in terms of practicing? I mean, I'm assuming you practice pretty regularly.
Well, yeah, it depends if I have a gig or not.
Hmm.
That's the biggest like extent, especially right now in the summer where I'm a little bit more freer in the early afternoon and morning. It's
Yeah.
like I'll just listen to something basically all day. Like
Hmm.
I'll put on a record for like during breakfast and then or lunch or whatever. And I guess it keeps the musical like mind active if you're listening to something all the time. And then repertoire is a big thing for me. So I try to learn as many songs as I can.
Hmm.
I haven't been on the gig yet where someone calls a song and I haven't known it. So
Oh, good.
I'm
Yeah.
hoping to keep it that way. But
Yeah, that's a lot.
yeah, but it depends, as I said, because you can't really practice all day if it takes you an hour to get to a gig. The gig's 3 hours, then you
Yeah.
eat that, and then like you have to drive another hour back home. That's 6 hours gone like that. But especially if you also considering everything else you gotta do in the day. Like there was one day where I practiced 16 hours because I had absolutely nothing to do. Like
16.
like obviously I ate and everything, but like
I hope so. Yeah.
I had nothing to do that day. Like because you know I had finished all the gigs for the week, and well it was the next week.
Mhm.
And you know I guess it's okay, I'm gonna try to see how much I can accomplish in 16 hours. And you know it was I wouldn't say I accomplished a lot. Like it was like a whole like I would practice 16 hours every day or something like that. But it you know I try to practice at the very least like a couple hours, just
Mhm.
listening or practicing tunes or something like that. It's not to go too crazy with it, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's really interesting. A couple of things you said. So, like, number one, like the way you approach repertoire and tunes, and I think, you know, being a someone who teaches a lot of students your age and as a college professor locally, you know, I think a lot of what misses, even if a student or a player has the technical aspect, I find that a lot of them aren't listening enough. And it sounds like you really make listening a very big part of your sort of whole thing, which is great. So, like when you approach a tune, a standard, so it seems like you listen first, and then are you reading charts, or you just try to figure it out by ear? How does that work for you?
I mean, I can read. I mean, I got told by one of my first teachers when I was still doing rock that if you can't read, you're sort of you're kind of dead in the water when it comes to getting hired by other people because if they give you a chart and you can't read it and you're like, oh, can you give me a day? I gotta listen to this
Mhm.
kind of I mean, there's people who can get along with it because, you know, they've got great ears. But I try not to read like the real book or nothing like that. Just because I try to get in the habit of being able to be on the gig, and for if some reason I don't know the song and the organist or the saxophonist says, "Hey, just follow along to the melody." If I get in the habit of having to read a chart for every song I play, um, it's it kind of puts me in a place where I don't feel like I have to listen as much.
Yeah.
Like if I want to learn a song like even if it's a one of a like a more straight ahead song, like when I was first starting, if I wanted to learn Just Friends, I would
Sure.
put on like Sonny Stitt's version, then Dexter Gordon's, then like Ella's version. Well,
Mm.
I sometimes try to start with the singers for the songbook songs, but like if I wanted to learn Ask Me Now by Thelonious Monk, I probably wouldn't put on Carmen McRae to learn it, you know? I'd probably go to the Thelonious Monk five. What is the Thelonious Monk five by Monk played by five
Yeah,
with
yeah.
the quintet,
Yeah, yeah.
and listen to the original recording first, and then try to listen how like Joe Henderson plays it, and then how Charlie Rouse would play it, and then
Mhm.
you know. So I don't think there's only like a few songs that I had to like actually go to a chart, and that was more contemporary stuff like where it's a little bit more intricate, like that sort of thing I do read, but other than that I just listen. Like there was one time where I listened to a song maybe 50 times, and then I picked up the guitar, and without even having to like sit down, figure it out note by note, I could just play it just
Mm.
because I had heard it so many times. So that's what I usually try to do when it comes to the repertoire thing.
Right. And when you do that, you hear the harmonies as well, or is it mostly just
Yeah.
the two?
So it's like you get the harmony, try to obviously listen to the bass player, just to see what they're playing,
Right.
because you never know if like someone like Ray Brown is gonna like do a tritone substitution or
Sure.
something like that. So you can, especially if it's a I like listening to chordless trios like Sonny Rollins.
Uh-huh.
Uh, if I want to learn I'm an old cowhand, I put on like Sonny Rollins version.
Yeah,
And
way out west. Yeah, good.
yeah, well West with Philly Joe Jones and
It's Ray Brown on that.
yeah, and Ray Brown, yeah. And I'll try to figure out the chords just off out of that where the piano players in like trying to maybe they want to do an F minor nine or instead of the F minor seven as like Rogers wrote it. So that sort of thing is like I think it really helps out in situations where like you've got reharmonization. Like
Sure.
if someone says like you're in the middle of if you could see me now, and instead of doing like a regular 3 6 2 5 like the song does, they want to do like a sharp four ending, and you're like stuck on the chart. You might not catch it until the second time around, which is fine. But if you could catch it the first time, you'll catch it the second time as well, you know?
Yeah, no, totally. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Wow, really, really interesting, man. So, like, what now are you currently working on? What do you feel like is something that you want to work more towards in your playing?
Well, I mean, playing wise, I guess it's just I guess the how you say the thing about comping is
Hmm.
like a big thing. Um, like I I guess I really like the way some guitarists comp, like Barney Kessel with Billy Day, or Tal Farlow with like Sonny. Is it the Sonny Chris or Sonny Cross?
Sonny Chris, yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
Sonny Chris. Um, that sort of thing, because obviously we only have 4 fingers to work with, and if you really stretch, you have like 4.5, you know, with the whole thumb thing. But there's some like I love the way Wynton Kelly comes, obviously. So that sort of thing is I I like listening to other instruments to hear the way they approach things. So like someone like Cannibal Adderley,
Beautiful.
um, his phrasing is and even someone like Sal Nistico, right? Who is a
Hmm.
tech player.
Yeah.
Um, he's got that sort of that phrasing. Um, when it comes to that, I guess um try to incorporate because I don't want to just listen to guitar players because they're not listening to just guitar players. And you're sometimes hard pressed to find a saxophonist who like transcribes Wes Montgomery solos instead of
True.
like a trumpet player solos, you know? Because
Mm.
there's people who transcribe a trombone solo before they even think about like transcribing a Grant Green solo. Like so I guess it's pretty important um in the aspect of just musicality all around to listen to just about every other instrument because there's some really great like Neil Enhop solos which are really worth transcribing or even just listening to around and around and you know just like I listened to the Wes Montgomery Smoking at the Half Note
Yeah.
for like every day for about a month and I never really sat down and tried to transcribe the solos but like the phrasing just started like making sense because you could like learn English by reading down a dictionary, English to whatever language you're native in, dictionary, just all day. But I don't think it's gonna stick as much as just like listening to like the Weather Channel or Law and Order or something like that, and
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
listen
Hmm.
be listen to it be spoken in like action. So that's probably what I would say just in terms of improvements.
Yeah, that's great. And it's what you just said remind I had Pasquale Grasso on recently.
Oh
Well,
yeah.
yeah, so I'm sure you're familiar with. You probably even maybe know. Have you met?
No, actually, no, but really love his playing. Goes without saying. There's a
But he
really huh?
no, no, no. Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh no, there's a really great video of him playing with the Pat Martino trio rhythm section, playing one of those things, and it's just burning bebop lines all over the place.
Yeah, yeah. But a lot of what you're saying, because he started very young. He was kind of a young virtuoso, and uh, and he was talking to me about something that you just kind of mentioned, where he didn't have a lot of records in his home, so he would get one and
Hmm?
like listen to it so much that he got to a point where he's like, I had nothing else to transcribe. I transcribed the guitar player, I transcribed the sax player, whatever it was, and he's like the bass line. And then finally, I was like learning the drum parts on the guitar because it's just like he really would dig into, and there's something really to be said by like really digging into these records and learning from the masters in such a way, and beyond just guitar players, obviously, what you're doing. But another thing you said that was interesting. It's very rare, I think, for horn players to transcribe guitarists,
Hmm?
but the other way around, it's quite common.
Very common.
Although there is some technical things that the guitar has that you can't necessarily do, perhaps on an instrument that only allows for one singular voice, one melodic line. But yeah, that's really cool, man. So your summer is going to be spent a few gigs, right? I know July. I know
Yeah, July I'm kind of locked
you're,
up there as much as because we got curfew and all that, so I can't really do that much out there. But you know, it's gonna be fun to be with all those those folks out there.
yeah. I mean, it's a great environment. That's where I went.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I know I never did the summer program thing or taught at it before or anything, but yeah, I mean, just being in that environment, that Boston environment's cool for sure, and all those musicians. And then, so like, what's the plan after you're, I guess, essentially finishing up high school? You thinking about music school, or you're just gonna keep going the way you're going and just like,
Well, you know, I got some folks telling me that like I should maybe take a gap year or something like that. I'm looking at whoever gives me the best scholarship, you know, that sort of thing. Um, because like I would say that it's sort of I still got some time to decide, I suppose, as far as it comes to that. So I probably won't go on the record and say anything concrete until like I have something signed. I'm not
Mhm.
sure yet.
Right, but college is a good music school is a consideration for you?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's
Mhm.
just I would probably want to stay in the kind of the New York, Pennsylvania area, just because I know most of the people there. Like especially like Pittsburgh's a big place of for me. That's actually where I did my I guess my first sideman gig was out there at the City Winery with Tony Campbell. He's one of my favorite living alto players. He's a great guy. And he called me and he said, "Yo, Morel, I got a gig coming up at the City Winery. You want it?" And I'm like, "Okay, sure. Yeah, I'm more than happy to do it." And like had a he had two groups playing, and I got to play with both, and then I play in the middle. Got to play some tunes with both of the groups. The first one was with Roger Humphreys, the drummer, uh,
Sure.
Dwayne Dolphin, and Victor Garzotto on piano. And then the next week was Paul Thompson or PD bass,
Mhm.
um, and then Howie Alexander on keys, really great player, and then also a great drummer from out there. Um, and that sort of thing. Pittsburgh is just a really great environment for a musician, just because there is so much music around. Like I was leaving Pittsburgh with my family, and I saw how you say it? I saw a billboard sign on the side of the highway for the Glenn Miller reunion band or the Glenn Miller revisited band. So you have billboards for big bands, and you
Yeah.
have billboards for Sheets gas stations. You got billboards for lawyers. You got billboards for divorce lawyers, and you got billboards for like jazz.
Mm.
Um, Matter of fact, in August after 5 week, I'm bringing one of those Pittsburgh people, Roger Humphreys. He's gonna be doing a couple shows out here in New Jersey. We're doing the Chicken Bone Jazz Beach jazz concert series in Atlantic City with
Okay.
him and Pat Bianchi, and I think he's coming up to Clemens with me this Saturday. So it'll be announced up there if any of your listeners wants to see Roger Humphreys, one of those people,
Yeah,
like
he's
Song for My Father and
sure.
those great albums.
Yeah, and it's cool that there's still these guys around, and like I'm sure you're finding, as I always have, that they're mostly very accessible and very generous with their times and their talent.
Oh yeah, like we had gone to Pittsburgh and Roger Humphreys wanted to talk in person about the gig because we were figuring out all the like how he's gonna get there, all that sort of thing. And we just went to his house, and we hung out for like way more than we were expecting to, because it was uh he said sort of well, especially these people, it's about passing it on, and that sort of thing is I guess it's what the music is really about, in all sort of circles, just the passing on the torch, or just even just explaining the kind of the heritage of where it's coming from. I guess that's one of the biggest things besides improvisation and all the vocabulary. It's a really social music. So
Yes.
especially in the like even the green room, like that's a that's a huge thing. Like you have people hanging out for hours before the concert and hours after the concert, especially in a festival situation. And
Right.
they're eating, maybe like they're grabbing the plate from the buffet, but they're just really there to talk with whoever else is back there, and you'll meet a whole bunch of people with like emerging artists, like seasoned people and like legends just drinking coffee and
Right.
just talking about the time they played at Birdland with someone, or that sort of thing.
Yeah, and it's as much as of an education, I think, doing that, as sitting in the room practicing sometimes, I mean, I remember doing gigs. I'm sure you probably know the name, Ted Kurson. I'm not sure if you know.
Oh yeah, yeah, with Mingus. Yeah, of
Yeah, so like years ago, there was a club in Montclair, Trumpets. I'm sure you maybe.
course.
Yeah, so I was fortunate enough to like play there weekly, and with Ted, like he was running a jam session. I was the bass player, but
Yeah.
as much as I enjoyed the playing part, sitting with him and eating and listening to him tell stories because he was a very charismatic guy. Was really remarkable, and being a jazz historian of such, it's like I was like, this is I would pay for this, and he's paying me to sit here and play with him. It was really kind of cool to be around guys like that, and still is, still is. So that's great, man. I mean, so in terms of other things you're doing, like, are you writing tunes now? Do you have a desire to compose?
Yeah, I mean, I'm composing a little bit, but I just don't really like play that stuff yet at any shows, just because I guess the time will come, but
Yeah.
right now it's just if I play straight ahead, play standards, that sort of thing, but if I'm doing Jamaican jazz, I'll play traditional songs or
Mhm.
reggae tunes. So it really depends, but not no I haven't debuted any
Right.
yet.
Yeah, so it seems like you kinda have sort of, I don't wanna say a split because music is just music, but you do the trad jazz, the traditional jazz standard kinda thing, and then you have this sort of Jamaican jazz aspect that you do as
Yeah,
well.
I mean, for when it comes to straight ahead, I don't really play the like really like I don't play Autumn Leaves or that sort of standard that much. Like there's like maybe 1,500 songs in that iReal Pro Jazz like Legion thing.
Yeah,
Everyone downloads. So if it's on there, I consider it a standard. So if I call like 4-in-1 at the gig, they can play it if they don't know it by heart. But it's like I try not to stay in the same wheelhouse when it comes to straight ahead.
good.
Um, like maybe I'll call a Duke Pearson song or something like that, or like Monk or Horace Silver. But it's not really like a you know. I mean, I can play the songs if someone like calls them at a gig, but when it's a rim section that I know and they already know what I like calling, or they kind of have like
Yeah,
some songs memorized or that sort of thing. It's a little more freer, not like free harmonically. I mean free
yeah, yeah,
it's as in like there's more songs being chosen, and I
sure.
not to wear out like the rhythm section by calling the same songs that they probably played
Mhm.
the night before that. It's just try to switch it up as much as possible.
Yeah, that's great, man, especially yeah, that I like that. So, I know you're busy tonight, but I run a jam session on one Monday every month
Oh
at,
yeah,
in the Highlands. And, I let whoever comes up choose a tune because you're right, it's kinda like, I don't wanna be playing the same. How many times can I play Autumn Leaves, And
back.
what more do I have to say on it? Which is really kind of part of the challenge too, is like, I do wanna be able to not, repeat myself. I like to be able to play Autumn Leaves
Mhm.
2,500 times differently every single time, and I
Yeah.
probably have at this point, but sometimes you're just like, "Man, come on, there's thousands and thousands of songs out there, and you have the benefit, and I think a lot of people do. It's a benefit and a little bit of a crutch. Those iReal, apps and stuff. It allows us to play songs that we might not fully know, like But it's a great way to discover material. And
I usually try. I would scroll down the list because like try to find the song that looked interesting
yeah,
and try to memorize it by the end of the night because I have I, in none anyone else's gig or none of my gigs, I've never read music um on the bandstand or like had to pull out a song because
wow,
it kind of I mean, if you gotta do it, you gotta do it. You know, it's like I would rather you read it than like start playing like giant steps changes over the bridge of Misty. You know, because you forgot how to you heard B and you thought, oh, B major
yeah,
seven first chord of giant steps. Let me just play that sort of thing. Um,
hmm
if you gotta read it, I don't have anything against that. Just because I know people that I love playing with and they read tunes, so that's what they gotta do. I just don't think because they can, I can't. I don't think I can like do two things at the same time, like read the chart and play something that isn't like, oh well, I gotta. It's an extra step of thought, and because the people who I play with who read, they can do that and they can actually say something while
yeah,
reading the chart. That's fine. I'm personally, I try to avoid it just because I like listening to the group and like if I'm reading like just in time, um,
hmm
even though I know it and if I didn't know it and I was reading it and like I'm reading it and then the bass player plays like he does like a some 2/5 like a he goes he we harmonize something.
yeah,
I'm reading the chart and then he changed something. I have to say, oh well, the chart's wrong. I gotta listen to him, or I'm just
mhm,
playing. I'm not playing exactly on the 1 2 3. I'm not doing Freddie Green or whatever. And if he does something, I can catch on to that because I wasn't looking at the chart and trusting the chart with like everything. It's like
yeah,
if you're following a GPS and you're just following the GPS and someone says, "Hey, make it right," and you're just like locked in on the GPS, you're not even looking at the road. You're just looking at the GPS. You
hmm.
might crash.
Yeah, good analogy. Yeah, it's funny. There's like these two schools of thoughts on that. I mean, when I was coming up about your age and older, reading was considered like a no-no. But like unlike yourself, maybe I have a decent memory, but it's hard for me to memorize all these tunes.
Hmm?
So I find that like sometimes there's like those two or three chords that I'm not always
Oh,
remembering. So having that there is like a sort of overview of a map on some songs, of course.
yeah,
Uh, and of course, as a bass player, I don't really have the lug. I need to put the right chords down
exactly.
for you to do what you want to do until it's my turn. Until it's
Mhm.
my turn. So it's true. I mean, I think sometimes people have this thought that if there's music on the bandstand, it's less than. But you're right. Some people, and I kind of put myself in that camp. I probably read, if I'm doing a gig, maybe it's half the time or something. I don't even know, but I like it there in case. I don't want to go off into off the road, at the proverbial road that you said, and fall into the ocean just because I'm too stubborn to look at a letter. You know what I mean?
There's a difference between like just
Mhm,
playing, and then you look at it just to establish where you are, that sort of thing. That's different.
mhm,
But like if you have the tablet like up to here and you're just like you're not even making eye contact with the rest of the group or nothing like that,
yeah,
you're kind of gonna get into some hot water like some way, just because it's a very it's a social music, so it's like when you're at the dinner table and everyone's like on their phones and
yeah,
like that sort of thing. And if like everyone's on their phones, sure, so be it. But like I I kind of like the old school of thought where it's like no music on the bandstand just because you gotta, there's so much going on. But like I guess there's some music where it's like 30 pages long. You gotta read stuff like there's some contemporary stuff which I really enjoy that you gotta read just because it's so it might be pretty like it's like if C Jam Blues had 10 suites and
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
still C Jam Blues, but there's like it changes up a little bit. You probably need to read it just because like it's the C Jam suite, you know?
Yes. Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, it's as long it's the result, right? The process is only part of it, and the result is what really matters. But you're right. I mean, the last thing you want to do, and this is maybe me putting on my teacher hat for a second, is like be so locked in. I mean, it's the exact antithesis of what this music is. I mean, you have to be able to be flexible. It's conversational, and if you're just buried in a chart and you're essentially working as an iReal book backing track, then what's the point, you know? Um,
Exactly.
but then, again, I've played with some guys and some pretty well-known players who they wanted. I played with some players who are great technicians and very well respected, but they're locked into their thing, man. And if they don't want you to be flexible, they want you. They want
Yeah.
the changes the way they've heard it on their
Mhm.
record and the way, and that's you have to be able to do many many different things. And
It
but
kind of like if you stay locked in that sort of thing where it's like, well, I want these changes because that's what I know. That's
yeah.
like when it gets to that, it's sort of like it becomes like they're trying to interact with the changes just as they heard it. It's like trying to dance with like a cement pipe, you know? It's not gonna move, but like you can like dance around it, you know?
Yeah.
But it's I guess in that sort of way, there's sometimes there's songs you want that like imagine trying to reharmonize Have You Met Miss Jones, you know? Like that's going to be interesting to say the
Yeah.
least. But
Doesn't
it,
really need
yeah,
it.
it's already kind of it's hip enough, you know, already. It's like there's only so much like you can do to like hip Autumn Leaves after it's been played for a million times, you know? It's
Mhm.
like, oh, let's do it in 5/4 as Latin, but then on the bridge we go to a 7/4 calypso feel, and then on the C we go to a swing, double time swing, and then we do a coda to giant steps, and then we do that in free, and then on the solos we do a free interlude on G Dorian, and then we
Mhm.
so what, and then we go back to that's like
What's the point?
it's like the doctor trying to like operate on a plate of pasta that's been out for 7 weeks, you know? It's like he's a doctor, what are you gonna do? So it's already done.
No, that's great, man. Yeah, I mean, I like the whole vibe. Everything you're saying is great. That's awesome. I know you're. I'm not even know if you're. There was a few shows in June. I was asked to play with you. I wasn't able to do it. I wish I could have, but
Yeah, it was
I
next
had that
time.
foot surgery. But I'm looking forward to the chance when we do get to play together.
Yeah, yeah.
I've only heard. I've been a couple people have said, your name keeps coming up in conversation. So you're doing the right thing. People are taking notice, especially in our area for sure.
Yeah, I didn't know anything about that.
Ah, you know. Well, don't be so humble, man. You're doing the thing, and it's very impressive, and um, and it's musically honest and intellectual, and I really hope you continue with it.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Anything else you want people to know? Any bigger shows? I mean, maybe mention your website.
Oh well, for if you got anyone in Chicago or Illinois, I'm doing the Illinois Guitar Festival. That one's gonna be a real. It's also it's part of the Guitar Festival, New York, and the Illinois ones. Those are Ernest Ranglin fans. Um, we're doing a celebration of his life. Also, well, obviously Roger Humphreys and Pat Bianchi at the Chicken Bone Beach. On That's also going to be announced on their website. Then Clemens Place again with Humphreys and such. That's also gonna be on there. Yeah, I mean the website has all these shows. It's Marel Hidalgo music.com, and then I'm on all social medias and just about everything else. There's
Hmm.
some that I didn't even know were up, but then people say,
Yeah.
"Hey, is this you?" And then I guess it is. But Yeah, and I play quite a bit around there. So if you're around, don't be a stranger and whatnot.
Yeah, definitely not, man. Yeah, I'm sure our paths will cross in person soon.
Oh,
I mean,
definitely.
and I wish you all the best, man, and I hope to speak to you
Yeah,
again soon. Yeah, so good luck at good have a good time in Boston and all the shows, and we'll talk again.
yeah. We'll talk again. Well,
All right.
good evening or morning. Have a good evening. It's 10:57.
Yeah, right. All right, my friend.
Nice
I'll
talk.
speak. Nice talking to you.
Uh,